Well, hello people. Welcome back to part 25 of Yoakley, our vanilla Cities 2 build. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We recently had a live stream in the city where we began to fix some of the flooding around the initial starting suburb, which included a rebuilding of the big box area and just generally elevating the terrain. The issue isn't quite fixed yet, but we've certainly improved the area and left ourselves with some quite impressive big box visuals right on the outskirts of Benedict here by Shelton. However, in today's episode, I would like to turn my attention back to the town frame we set up last episode, looking on the east side of the highway to start playing with the supply chains content creator pack from Bad Idea, which is available down at the instant gaming link below if you don't have it. It's been quite a while since we've built some decent industry for Yoakley, and these assets are going to be the perfect additions, I think. Either way, welcome back to Yoakley, everyone. First of all, let's come into our first supply chains. Now, the factories I want to use here, I want to actually directly correlate to our production chains. So we can see Yoakley has immense surpluses of livestock and grain, a little bit of edge, kind of raw minerals, if you like, oil, stone, and rock and ore is all massive deficit. We really need to work on some mining industry. Maybe next episode we can do a vanilla mine, might be quite a fun project. But I think certainly the things to lean into here are grain and livestock. So let's come into our signature buildings. We'll come into industry. And there's a few of them we can use here. We do have a production of timber, but I won't put that here. So I think certain contenders are going to be the cereal mill. Of course, this one is turning grain into convenience food. And then the other ones, the livestock processing facility, of course, because we will have big surpluses of livestock. These are two buildings that I think will go quite nicely together. So we'll find a position for them. And then I think the last one we'll have will be the athletic wear factory, which will take petrochemicals. Oh, does it change every time, does it? Interesting. I didn't realise that. Yeah, now it wants cotton. Okay, I didn't realise the supply chains changed their materials. It now wants cotton, did move to petrochemicals, and it was grain when I checked it. Not sure if that's a bug. I doubt it is. But either way, we'll have the athletic wear factory here as well. We're also getting snow. I'm just going to use dev mode to remove this. No thank you to 8 months of never-ending white. I'm alright. Cool, so these are the 3 factories we'll use here today. Now, I'm pretty sure we also need sewage. We need water and sewage, really, don't we? Yeah, we're importing so much water. Holy crap. Okay, we'll fix that today. Power generation is absolutely fine. We're producing and exporting an enormous amount of it. So we'll just bring water production and sewage into this industrial build as well. So I think certainly we're going to have the athletics wear factory over here. So let's move the livestock and grain focus buildings. We'll focus on them secondly. Now I think this will just sit quite nicely next to this tram depot, won't it? But I think orientation against the highway is equally as important. So we'll start out with a road that joins our tram depot here. It's likely that won't remain a permanent connection. And then we'll have this. Let's come off that road, snap in here. Oh, I suppose it doesn't really matter at this point because I'm probably going to turn it around. Now this building's got loads of little roads on it, hasn't it? These little exits out of the facility. So I want to make sure they're respected throughout the build. And then I think I'll see if I can almost bleed them off into some little industrial sites to make it look like it's perhaps little supplementary auxiliary processing or manufacturing for the athletics wear building. I think it might be a nice way to integrate some zoned industry into this. About there, I think. And then we'll have our surfaces just pull up to those corners. So, complements the tram depot quite nicely actually, doesn't it? I think I like that. And in terms of its positioning off the highway, I don't hate it either. It's actually quite a nice angle there against the main road, isn't it? I'll also likely intersect this road with the slip system as well, because if we can bleed off some industrial traffic into this, I'm sure they'll appreciate it. And I might even go for a roundabout here as well, just off that highway slip road. It's an extra flow system for them. I'm going to break a few of these road connections. And we'll start to factor in some zoned designs into this thing. Let's push all this terrain back. And then we'll grab that road up to this one. Then bring it around the back of the tram depot. And then with this one, I think I'm going to bring it down. Do I have room for a cul-de-sac there? Quite. I bet I can accommodate that though if I want to. I have some quite fun detailing in mind, I think, for how this might look. If I can have a cul-de-sac here. Yeah, okay. I can see this coming together, I think. So I'd really like to have some industry sat directly opposite the factory here. Pour that down. I'm not going to connect it in with the cul-de-sac. Could even do another one there, actually. Probably help my design a little bit more. Let's get some stuff growing. Wouldn't mind an office building here as well, actually. I know we don't have any office demand right now. And if I can influence that with a slight tax reduction. See if we can encourage a little bit of demand, maybe. Not losing too much profit there, am I? I mean, we've got literally tens of millions of it anyway, so it should be alright. Yeah, I wouldn't mind some office space, so I'll leave some room for that to grow. And maybe even scope. Do we have a more industrial looking signature office, I wonder? Now, these are all quite big, aren't they? Yeah, I wouldn't mind saving a lot of these, like the Brandon Lifestyle Centre. Could we have this on Main Street here? And we will name this town today as well, of course. I asked you guys for name suggestions last episode. But, I just want to maybe see what this looks like as part of the town centre once we come to build it. Yeah, I probably do like that there, actually. Yeah, I won't put this in the industrial area. It's kind of too nice, really, isn't it? And that's fine, then. We'll simply just wait for a zone to come in. It should grow at some point. All these guys grow up. I think I'm likely to turn this into embanked highway, so it has the retaining wall, rather than this quite rough terrain edge. But we'll see what happens with it. And we'll also give a little secondary entrance into this industrial site over here as well. Cool. They'll go in. I'd love to see some people arrive to this. They are apparently already receiving materials, which is good. And there's one current semi-truck in use, who is buying cotton. I should just see where he goes here, everyone. I just want to check to see what he's doing. And there he goes. He arrives at the cotton farm and even loads upon cotton. And now he's going to bring it back to the factory. So that's very satisfying to actually see that in motion. I hate these farms though. Please fix this, Ice Flake. Your first order of business, please get rid of this. God. Hopefully that gets patched pretty soon. But I love that, right? Articulated trucks driving from the factory to supplier. Very cool indeed. Right. I'm happy with that there. I'd also like more I'll certainly like some commercial as well, so let's bring that in. In terms of what style we want to go for, I wouldn't mind. I think maybe some northeast business might probably look best here. So we'll start zoning some of it in. I'm after more of the old Brit vibe. The southwest stuff will be far too modern, same with the Japan. Eastern Europeans maybe a touch too stylized for what I want here. So we'll have some commercial down Main Street. Off of this junction. Can I make that the same one there, I wonder? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah. Let's bring that down so I can start to form some whole grid frames here around our shoreline. Now, we did want to save room for a potential second rail yard, didn't we? Which I probably wouldn't mind introducing today. How big is that vanilla one? It is big, isn't it? I know, but let me just double check. And it's pretty much the perfect amount of room for it here anyway, really. But if we want to hold that, the road is going to come out of here. So let's prepare it while we're bringing this out. I think once we come over this bridge, I'm actually going to move down to two-way highway. Almost like it is kind of moving back to slight country road vibes. On the road out to the rail yard. So that'll give us access to the rail yard, which we'll place today as well. But now, we do have the issue of wind pollution in Yoakley. Now, Yoakley's simulation still continues to suffer a myriad of problems. I've tried all the fixes. You guys have left so many in the comments for me, which I really appreciate, of replacing all the death care and healthcare and garbage buildings and whatnot to try and fix it. We can actually see it in motion. But you can see we have hearses driving around here by our dead. But yeah, they just take so long to pick them up. And you know, you can see hearses all over the city. It's not like the hearses are stuck or they're not coming out. They're just, yeah, maybe it's, we don't have enough, but we do have quite a lot of death care buildings. Like there's 3 in this vicinity, for example. Wait, how many do I need? Do you know what I mean? So it is certainly a lot better than it was, for example, when Bridges and Ports came out. So maybe it is just a long passage of time thing. But the wind direction in this map means that it's all going to blow this direction, straight the way over Benedict. Which is a little bit of a shame, but also something we have currently happening here from the starter industry. These guys here aren't happy because of air pollution, but that doesn't really have any impact on us because they're still happy, we're still making money, population goes up and down, we haven't really had a massive zoning expansion recently. And the city generally is at max happiness, and without particularly caring about air pollution. So for this instance here, I'm kind of ignoring the CS2 air pollution mechanics. The fact that the wind blows in the same direction all the time means that you can only zone industry in very specific parts of your map, which I don't really like, so I'm ignoring it in this instance, if you're wondering. I have some little concrete roundabouts at the bottom here, and we'll start zoning some industry. Now I'm going to mess about with some zoning sizes here, not always 6 deep, because I think some of those assets can be, I think sometimes a little overbearing. So I'm going to go maybe 4 and 5 deep occasionally. And then here back to Main Street, we'll continue with our commercial strips. Wouldn't also mind perhaps some low rent housing around here as well, why we're a little more kind of less desirable, I think. I think northeast is definitely the shout, isn't it? Should look perhaps a little better once we get those silos in the background. Yeah, that's what I want, right? This kind of older, rustier, raw iron, wooden bricks. Yeah, there you go. That's it, isn't it? The texture with those grain mills in the background is what we want. That's it. Cool. So let's turn our attention to this grain mill and livestock combo here then to sit next to the highway. I can push a bit more of this terrain back again. Like I said, I'll probably embank all of this to be retaining more highway. If not some kind of rock wall at least. So again, I'd love to find a little positioning for these two that really helps complement one another. You can see there's a little entrance here, isn't there? And so I think certainly silos by the highway is what I want. We'll do the upgrade in a second once we're happy with positioning. So I think I'd like this to be a bit of a feature by the town. Every time you drive through it, you're like, oh yeah, you know where you are because you're driving past these old grain mills by the highway, right? Bit of a landmark for the town almost, especially on this industrial side. Super. So I wonder what sort of connection I can get away with on the front of this. Will you be happy there? You do want a connection there. I can sort of cheese it. This will come down, we'll find a way to plug it in. And then we'll have our livestock friend here. You can sit there, but I think I'm going to push it off a little bit. About 4 tiles, something like that. And then we'll give it its connection. Might even cul-de-sac that as well. Yes, we will. It looks like probably have to do quite a bit of hedge lining around here, but we're definitely no stranger to that on this channel for sure. And then bring that down, and perhaps even on a bit of an angle as well. Something like that. And definitely this one as well. And I think this way we can just make it look like it's at least connected. I think that certainly helps, doesn't it? Just for making it look like one continual... Maybe not one asset, you can probably tell it's 2 different ones. But beyond that, and we could even begin to complement with tiny bits of zoning, maybe like a 3x3 or something. We'll see what grows in. Don't really want smokestacks here next to the grain mill. It's a bit of a clash of industrial theme, I think, isn't it? We'll bring this out. We'll have a regular word. Snap into cell length. Bring that straight up. Super. I think there's another little outer line facility. I'll be pretty happy with that. It's going to be quite detailable in our time lapse as well, I think, isn't it? Let's add some parking here as well. We'll just add some small ploppable car parks up and out the front. This will also allow us to continually detail all those surfaces around here as well. Giving that impression of continual complex, which is always so much fun, isn't it? Cool. I'm happy with that. We also mentioned sewage as part of this side of town as well, for which we do need plenty. Well, actually, first of all, let's do that upgrade. It's going to give 5% industrial efficiency. And you have a short assembly line. Sure, why not? And we'll also add the meat packing logistics centre on to the livestock yard as well. Which I'm actually not sure if I like that, you know. It really changes the vibe of the building. Where it says fish on the front, but there's cows outside. Fish on a stick? Should it not be cow on a stick? Probably should be. But that's fine. I think I'll leave that one without the upgrade. I don't mind the silo one here. And then again, it does really match, doesn't it? I don't know, you know. That's a tough choice. That upgrade does match much better with the silo upgrade. I'll leave them both on. I'll see how they grow me throughout the episode. In terms of sewage, the Japanese water treatment plant tends to be my go-to. We also have this one, but it's not very industrial looking. Actually, you know what? Just thinking that water treatment plant might repurpose nicely into an accompanying office for the athletics wear factory. Kind of ignoring the giant water logos. But I think as a bit of factory admin, I might actually be able to get away with that. So I think we'll do it. That still won't meet our need though. Oh, it does actually for sewage, I suppose. I wouldn't mind a Japanese one down here to sit with the rail yard. Again, it's very similar texture almost on the bottom there, isn't it? So this is today's episode is just the most happy alignment of combinable surfaces, isn't it? So let's bring this down. I'm just going to push you across up here. I'm going to bring the road out and down a touch, probably into another cul-de-sac. May even have some further industrial zonings here. And then these surfaces should just stitch together quite perfectly indeed. And pull them down. And then pull the water treatment one across. And then definitely some more industrial zone in here. Keep them quite small. I don't really want to dwarf the rail yard. So that gives us sewage possibly until the end of the city. I'm not sure how much larger you'll go in terms of population that will use that sewage capacity. And then water production. What's our highest capacity water tower? 40,000 a month from the northeast one. I don't really want a water pumping station, so we'll use the towers. I almost wonder if I can twin tower these again as a bit of a landmark for the town almost. I wonder. Just noticed a natural little rise in the terrain there. I wonder if I can imitate this on the other side. Accentuate it a little bit. This might look a little bit obnoxious. Could we have twin water towers either side of the highway? I think one would be fine. Two, maybe. It's a bit in your face, isn't it? I think I might do it. I think that might be quite a controversial one. But I think it's unique enough for me to go for it. We will have the gates facing roughly the same side. Thankfully, these won't need a road. We can just plug them in. If anything, actually have some quite nice fun detail in the sides of our interchange. With some admin, if you like. They do already come with surface on them, which I don't mind, but I don't really want the concrete one here. Let's add that one there. And then let's send a little sand surface that comes... This will be down to this road here, won't it? I'm going to turn all the snapping off for this. And then we'll likely bring in some nice little forest. That just flanks his pathway back down to the road where servicemen come down. Always enjoy these sorts of builds. It's a nice way to kind of repurpose and factor in different utility buildings that you don't use super often. You can have quite a lot of fun with an asset you probably wouldn't usually have, you know? Okay, I think I'll go with it. I'm going to soften out the rest. I guess it also makes sense from a gravitational point of view as well, doesn't it? Having the water slightly elevated. With so much industry around, services are going to make sense, especially fire. The water towers are a fire hazard, are they? Sure about that? Maybe that's because we don't have many helicopters, maybe. Possibly. But don't want any disaster control. Also, perhaps wouldn't mind going for the vanilla fire station, you know? Because this is a really nice asset. It's also a very big asset. I'm going to go for a manual placement. It also fits just so well with the northeast red brick as well, doesn't it? No, it's not actually connected there. We'll have to do some jiggery-pokery with an alleyway road, I imagine. I wonder if I can just snap straight to side and come in at a bit of an awkward junction here. How annoyed will you be with me, CS? I'll probably remove that crossing there as well. Bring it down. And then this surface again probably helps me detail the front of the building to be slightly happy with it. We'll come back to all our snappings here as well. Pull it down into its corners. And just over here as well, I think. Maybe actually the whole, maybe not the whole grass, but at least a decent chunk of it. Yes, we're also getting the grass texture peeling down there as well, aren't we? That's fine, I will mess with that off camera, I think. Cool. And then maybe some more decorative trees. Up and out the front here, something a little more mature. Flowers, wild hedge, couple of rocks and whatnot. A little purple tram goes by too. Super. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that then. And we can also add the disaster response upgrade to this as well, can't we? Yeah, disaster response unit. I will go for one of those, I think. That is the smallest sweet spot ever. Took me ages to get that. But I think I'll have the response unit just the other side of the street on the entrance into the city there. I will also have training facilities, slightly chunks the building out, garage extension, and helipad as well. We'll go full upgrade on that fire station. And then I think police and medical I will include as part of our commercial residential town centre in the next episode. Well, I think we're at a pretty good place now to carry on detailing the rest of this up. We've got loads of space to fill with props, surfaces, a little bit more zoning to get in as well, I think. Car parking, commercial detailing, likely expand some commercial up to the river as well. And leave all this as kind of forested rail yard as it heads down to the second one as well, which I think I'll likely place. I'm just going to place it straight on the main line here by the tile boundary. How big is that next tile, I wonder, actually? I'm going to buy both of those. Might as well. They're right there. Yeah, just place it here so it sits on that main national line as another batch of trains for us to plug into, because we will still continue to use trains here. We've got significant plans to extend about this side, haven't we, with the train line still emanating. So as those lines get longer, they'll pull from the train depots more and more. So rather be future prepped for that eventuality. Before the detailing town ups, we'll also name this town as well. And the name of this town will be Hull on Days, as chosen by Gaza Muso, which I guess turns this river slash stream into the River Days then, doesn't it? But fantastic name. Thank you for the continue egg theme. And let's get on with some detailing. Right guys, let's have a detailing review, shall we? Over the industrial side of the new town of Hollandaise. Off of our, what will be, rail yard access road, we have a garbage processing plant. This side of the city is super far away from any garbage processing. And I thought while we're in the industrial side, we might as well accommodate it here. So it just lies off a country road in the forest for further processing. In around our factory, we have retained walled some of the highway, not all of it. I think all of it maybe would have been a bit too, I think it's over-engineered, I think. There's some snow plows out at the minute as well, despite the fact it's not snowing. I suppose it is if I didn't use dev mode. Just some industrial detailing, expansion of surfaces. All this surface here is actually off the factory. Here you can see how we had it over this way. And I really like how all this sits. The factory helps detail the road networks too. A usual collection of favourite industrial buildings and props. Behind our zonings as well. And we had zero office demand, so I'm thinking we probably need to look at education expansion. And we do currently need college, so maybe we'll return to the university in Benedict in not too many episodes away. Just so we can bring some more office demand back in, because I think we do have some deficits in the education chain. And the natural forest spills back out here. And this will pretty much be the end of the town. I don't think we'll come right up to the map edge. I like just leave it as natural forest as civilization fades away, which is very much the vibe here, right? We're not going to be nearly as dense as we were in Benedict. Our main street sits really nicely and super happy with how all this turned out. We have the old brick vibe in. All of the kind of older industry around it as well, of the grain mill especially. And we'll see the viewpoint from across the highway in a second of that as well. Lots of detailing in around here, car parks up at the front too, with lots of path networks connecting people back in to these larger factories. Honestly, imagine lots of workers at places like these. Now the tram depot sits so nicely with the athletics wear building, doesn't it? A nice little discovery, that one, I think. Our industrial yard here did decide to leave the upgrades on. Also more industrial detailing and surface work out the back of here as well. That little 3x3 industrial unit settled in very nicely. More extension of surfaces here. Some custom props to sit alongside the factory, which I think really helps it, doesn't it? Really like that. This comes around the back to another cul-de-sac, just to respect all the sides of the building. And just super sort of landmark vibes, isn't it? We'll take in that viewpoint while we're on the subject. If we jump over here, just like, like when you're driving through Hollandaise, because you have the grain mills to the left side of the highway, right? Of course, those train lines also passing through as well. Anyone stopping yet? Can't imagine there is. There's a few knocking about, not massively busy. It will be once we get the residential in the next episode, I think. There's bikes over here. People are now using the bike bridge and the pathways to move around. And then we'll head back to the town centre as well, where we also have expansion of surfaces with all our northeast stuff. And there's a little bike parking tucked in here as well. So we can really get that impression here now, right, like we spoke about earlier in the episode. Kind of the older brick vibes with the industry still right in the heart of the town. That might be today's thumbnail actually, maybe. I really like that. Super cool. Yes, and then all this comes through into the road that links back to the highway. With that little detailing we did over here as well. We'll detail the other side when we come to do that episode. A little bit of roundabout detailing in the peanut about, of course. And some correction of lane maths from last episode as well. Just added a 3-lane segment here. And where this asymmetrical joins. So people can indeed move around properly, which is very nice indeed. Getting lots of good flow here. Not too much traffic in this bit of the city just yet. The trams are flowing through. Not getting tons of usage, it would seem. We'll see if anyone gets off. No, which is quite surprising, really. Also went with a lot of row homes here too. Decided to chuck in the small cemetery because the zoning on this bend was looking really awful. It was just all broken and knackered. There's also a park in here with expansion of surface and detailing for people to sit and enjoy general green park space. There is zoning in here, but it hasn't come in yet. I do, however, want more row homes, so I'm just going to wait for them to grow in. Down here, the surface of the cemetery also extends up to the pathway. And then this comes back to Main Street. We've also got some parks along the river as well. General recreational space in around more row homes tucked here on the edge of the town. There was water towers that are super loud, aren't they? Goodness me. And then we also have little bits of detailing, playgrounds, gazebos. There's another one over here as well with some surfaces using more of the new pier benches from bridges and ports. And just some nice green space for the Sims around here to enjoy. Back to that roundabout, there's also a post office. And then we'll head down Rohome Alley, where we'll see bike parking, where that bike bridge joins this side of the highway. Again, which is mixed and matched with northeast residential and northeast row homes. It's not all commercial down here. Which is just a really nice blend, isn't it? And really leans into that vibe again. This is the old main street, right, where the industry is. All of it. And then further down here, we have more industry. There's also a little corner plaza here as well, perhaps for workers to sit and grab a hot dog, just get out of the factory if you like for a little bit. Nice way to detail a corner. And then we have our water treatment and more industrial zoning down here. And then industrial props in around an expanded surface rail depot, just to help it settle in a little bit more. Which gives us some really nice industrial views, especially from here. Really when the trains are coming in and out as well from being maintained. It looks really sweet. So big fan of this view right here. Been almost like a rail yard frontage to some of the industry. As this side of the town really just sort of tapers off back into this area, which I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything. I'm likely to leave all of this countryside, to be honest. I don't really want more metropolis out here. But, so certainly fading away as we go up the valley and down the valley that direction, I think. And a really nice little industrial side to the town of Hollandaise, isn't it? That serves some wonderful views all the way back up there to Benedict. Otherwise, guys, I'll shut up and leave it there. Hope you've enjoyed it. These chain packs have made real key features for this town. Big fan of the grain mill slaughterhouse combo. Really just flows into the facility, and those silos just serve as such a landmark for the town alongside those big water towers as well. So really enjoyed this town. We'll jump across the other side of the highway next episode, or maybe we'll go expand the university. I'm not sure. We'll wait and see. An enormous shout out to the YouTube members and patrons that support these videos with a roll call to the golden patron eggs. Casino, Spartan Angel, Michael W, Bad Wolf, Phoenix MD, Blythe, Jamin, and Great C. If indeed you want to get involved in that, links below to Patreon Instant Gaming, the best ways to help support the channel, and you can also leave me a like for free below, which does wonders for these videos. Enjoy the cinematics, and I'll shut up and leave it there. Let's thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.